Have you ever thought about how powerful Sirius Black really was in Harry Potter? What if he wasn't as heroic as he seemed? In today's video, you will find out why Sirius Black is one of the most controversial characters in the entire series. Sirius Black had a tragic fate, a rebellious spirit, and undeniable magical talent. But calling him a good character is not that simple. He was brave, loyal, and willing to fight for what he believed in. Yet his past was filled with reckless choices that led to serious consequences. From childhood, Sirius stood out. Born into the infamous Black family, he rejected their obsession with blood purity and refused to follow their path. His defiance led him to Gryffindor, where he found his true family, James Potter, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. Together they became the Marauders, a mischievous and fearless group of friends. But his rebellious nature put him at odds with his own relatives. At 16, he ran away from home, cutting ties with the family that never truly accepted him. When Lord Voldemort rose to power, Sirius joined the Order of the Phoenix. He fought alongside James and Lily, even becoming the godfather of their son Harry. But then came the ultimate betrayal. Peter Pettigrew, whom Sirius had always looked down on, revealed the Potter's hiding place to Voldemort. In one night, Sirius lost everything. His best friends were dead, and their murderer walked free. Consumed by rage, Sirius hunted down Pettigrew, only to be framed for his crimes. With a single explosion, Peter faked his own death, left a street full of bodies, and disappeared, leaving Sirius to take the fall. 12 years in Azkaban, 12 years of torment, locked away with soul-draining dementors. Yet somehow Sirius endured. When he discovered that Peter was still alive, he did the impossible, escaped from Azkaban, something no wizard had ever done before. His only goal was revenge. But fate had other plans. Instead of killing Pettigrew, Sirius became a fugitive, forced to hide in the shadows. He watched over Harry from afar, longing to be the father figure his godson needed. Despite his hardships, Sirius was a formidable wizard. He fought Death Eaters, held his own in duels, and was one of the few wizards who could transform into an animagus at will. He resisted the soul-crushing effects of Azkaban for over a decade, something even seasoned wizards could not do. But was he truly great? Compared to legends like Dumbledore and Voldemort, his magic was not exceptional. His strength lay in his resilience, not in raw power. Yet for all his heroism, Sirius was far from perfect. His childhood arrogance never left him. He bullied Peter Pettigrew, treating him as lesser, which may have driven Peter to betray the Potters. He tormented Severus Snape, turning his school years into a nightmare. Even as an adult, he was reckless, impulsive, and often blinded by emotions. His inability to think before acting led to his own downfall. His final moment, rushing to battle, facing his deranged cousin Bellatrix Lestrange, ended in tragedy. Sirius Black was complex, brave but reckless, loyal but flawed, a hero but not a saint. Some see him as a tragic figure, a man broken by fate. Others see a reckless troublemaker whose choices led to disaster. What do you think? Was Sirius Black a true hero, or did his own flaws seal his fate? The Black family was old, powerful, and feared. They prided themselves on their pure-blood heritage, tracing their lineage through centuries of magical history. Their motto, toujours pur, always pure, wasn't just words, it was a warning. The Blacks believed in magical supremacy, despising Muggleborns and blood traitors. But one of their own, Sirius Black, shattered their legacy. He rejected everything they stood for, becoming the first in his family to break free. Sirius was born into wealth, raised in a grand house filled with dark relics and family portraits that whispered insults. His mother, Walburga Black, ruled with an iron fist. She expected absolute obedience, but Sirius was different. He questioned the rules. He laughed at their obsession with blood purity. He despised the idea that a wizard's worth was determined by birth. "I hated the whole lot of them," he admitted years later. "My parents, with their pure-blood mania, they thought the dark arts were respectable." His rebellion started early. At 11, he was sorted into Gryffindor instead of Slytherin, the traditional house of the Black family. His mother was furious. To her, it was a betrayal. "Filthy little blood traitor," she would later scream from her cursed portrait, long after Sirius had left. But he wasn't alone. His younger brother, Regulus, stayed loyal to the family, becoming their perfect son. Sirius, meanwhile, found a new family: James Potter, Remus Lupin, and Peter Pettigrew. The tension at home grew worse, while Burger filled their house with portraits of black ancestors, each one reinforcing their ideals. One of them was Phineas Nigellus Black, a former Hogwarts headmaster who shared the same disdain for weak-minded wizards. Another was Araminta Melliflua, known for attempting to pass a law making Muggle hunting legal. These were the people Sirius was supposed to admire. Instead, he mocked them. At 16, he had enough. After another explosive fight with his mother, he ran away. He found shelter in the Potter household, where he was treated like a son. His uncle, Alphard Black, sympathized with him and secretly left him a fortune, an act of defiance that led to Alphard's name being blasted off the family tapestry. Sirius became a disgrace, erased from history, as if he had never existed. But the Black family's darkness ran deeper than their arrogance. Many of them were tied to the dark arts. Bellatrix Lestrange, Sirius's cousin, was one of Voldemort's most devoted followers. She tortured and murdered without hesitation. Narcissa Malfoy, another cousin, married into a family equally obsessed with purity and power. Even his own brother Regulus joined the Death Eaters. But unlike Bellatrix, Regulus had doubts. Regulus's story was one of the great tragedies of the Black family. He initially followed their path, believing in Voldemort's vision, but when he discovered the truth that Voldemort was willing to sacrifice even purebloods for his cause, he turned against him. He stole one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, replacing it with a fake, leaving behind a note: "I have stolen the real Horcrux and intend to destroy it." He never made it out alive. Years later, Sirius would speak of Regulus with regret. "He wasn't a bad person," he admitted. "He just made the wrong choice. He tried to do the right thing in the end." But by then it was too late. The Black family name was forever tied to darkness. Most of them either died in disgrace or faded into obscurity. When Sirius inherited 12 Grimmauld Place, he found himself surrounded by the ghosts of his past. The house was filled with cursed objects, twisted heirlooms, and that same screaming portrait of his mother. He never truly escaped. Even in the Order of the Phoenix, fighting against everything his family believed in, the shadows of the Black name followed him. The Black family was more than just a bloodline. They were a symbol of power, fear, and cruelty. Sirius was their greatest failure, not because he was weak, but because he chose freedom over tradition. In the end, he paid the price for it. But he was never truly alone. "You're not a bad person," Harry once told him. "You're a very good person who bad things have happened to.